And Timur is a great example. I reviewed Timur's first film in '94, a little film that was a student film called Peshawar Waltz. And now, I don't know if you know the name Timur Bekmambetov, sort of rolls off the tongue. He's a huge director. He directed the Angelina Jolie film, and he's producing. He has this big company in Russia now, and major filmmaker who started from probably a film that literally cost about $50,000, first project he made, so just do it. You know, one thing I was thinking before we move into, away from sort of the past and into the present business and the creative work you do, I was thinking that there are pitfalls at every step of a career in the show business in Hollywood. And I wonder if you think back in your path to being where you are today, if you see something that either happened to you or it happens a lot to people on their way up. We talked a little about being too proud to make coffee. You know? Maybe somebody decided not to make coffee and now they're actually making coffee for a living because they didn't do it when they should have. Are there other things that come to mind of kind of pitfalls or danger spots in the business, mistakes that you feel you either made or saw other people make that makes it harder to break through or work your way up or get your chance? Anything come to mind as a kind of danger zone or a mistake or a pitfall?
I mean, go ahead. I think it's to me it always works when I focus back on music. I mean, in this town, it's very to do a big film is very different from doing a small film. But the only difference is there's no difference in the music.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is everything around the music.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I think the key to me is it's very easy to get lost in the politics and the business in this Hollywood thing.
Especially the bigger the production.
Yeah, I know. It's then you feel great playing that game and you're part of it. It's fantastic. And then the music suffers.
So perhaps the way I'm interpreting what you're saying is if you spend too much time thinking about the deal making and
your career and
not this picture but that one because this will be better for my career.
And even within the picture, like you're making everybody happy. Look on the film, you know, how we have 12 producers. You send out 15 DVDs per queue. I don't know. To people you've never even met, but they all have a big say. And this is how this system works. And if you really start thinking about this very much, you're on the phone more than sitting on your keyboard or whatever it is you write with.
Yeah. Is there an alternative to it? Because I would also imagine that the demands to be political and to serve a lot of masters and communicate and spend a lot of your time on the politics, there has to be a balance.
Yeah, I mean, we know.
Because you can't just tell them to fuck off. Right?
But, you know, you see great big careers with both, people make decisions for either or. And you see big successful people on both sides. To me personally, I prefer that side which focus on the music. And I admire people who say fuck off.
Yeah. And there are some successful people who at the place where they can do that.
Yeah, and you know,
they don't have an uncle in the mafia or something.
No, I think you get very your demand might grow. You know.
Yeah, well, Hollywood loves it when you say no. It's not available. That's another part of the game.
Yeah, or just you keep your integrity.
Yeah.
It's not about who said that? It's not about your. It's about no personality, but a lot of character. You know what I mean? It's this. Don't bring your ego in. But once you sit at the, like I said, I had on the keyboard, bring your character.
What is your internal voice and your gift? Bring that.
And if you do independent film, which I love doing, it's a very different game because it's much easier to focus on it. Maybe that's why I like doing that.
Anything else come to either of your minds in terms of things you've seen, friends maybe or colleagues that you feel aren't succeeding as well as they might? That you feel they made a mistake, a career mistake?
The people I see struggling the most are the ones who are really thinking about where they are. They're just thinking about their career and thinking, wait, is this project a step down from the last one? Or people who just are kind of wrapped up in themselves too much. You have to really sort of get over yourself in order to do the work that it takes, you know. And
so you think there's danger in overthinking your career and your path?
yeah.
Do managers and agents tend to cause that to happen more or less? Do they ever caution you and say, why don't you just trust me and everything will be fine?
Well, in my case, you know, they were very, you know, very involved and had a very clear, you know, a real interest in building my career, and they had just such a clear idea when things came in, you know, what was good for me and what wasn't, and I did a fair amount of kicking and screaming, you know, you know, but I've been really lucky with that, so, you know, my biggest regret myself is, you know, I feel like I did all the right things, you know, I said yes to all these crazy, weird projects and learned how to do so many things, and the only thing that I regret is that I used to get kind of bent out of shape, you know, I sort of feel bad about it, or, you know, or question whether it was the right thing all the time, and I really wasted a lot of energy.
So you're talking about projects you did that you now look back, you're really glad you did them, but at the time you were kvetching a lot about it.
Yeah, or just, you know, maybe worrying about, yeah, what is the significance of this thing I'm doing? Right? You know, if you get caught up like for 6 months on the same thing, and you know, and you're just like, am I wasting my time? You know, and it's just like, if you can just chill and do the work, you know.
Yeah, make a note on that. Asking yourself existential questions while trying to have a career in Hollywood, probably not healthy. Once you get to that, why am I here? It's really, really not a good thing. Now, moving on to today and the pressures and you know, try to get a picture in my mind of a movie with a budget of, well, Clash of the Titans, I think, must be about $150 million feature production budget. The Pirates were well over that. I think they got up to like 253, something crazy. Don't tell me, no comment. Yeah. But we know these are huge, huge projects. And by the way, the star of the Pirates movies is a guy who did exactly what Deborah just mentioned. Johnny Depp took every weird movie role anybody ever offered him. He was in Cry Baby, and he was in Ed Wood, and I remember all the offbeat, weird, indie, strange things he did. And at the end of that process, he wound up as the #1 movie star in the world. So there's something in that too. Today, in taking on a movie, if someone calls you up and says, okay, you're going to do this movie, and you all now know what that means if it's one of the movies of this scale, how do you prepare yourself? What do you know in terms of time commitment? Well, we'll just start with that. How long will you be on that next blockbuster?
You want to talk about that? I mean, I guess until it gets released. I mean, usually these kind of projects,
And are you exclusive to that for that time, or
no? But I mean, they're usually so involved that they pretty much are working solely on that project. But because of the size of such a project, I mean, the amount of picture changes and different ideas that are tried out where, oh, let's do this musically now, let's stylistically that changes, so you have to be prepared to go one direction and then a month later, oh, now we like to do this